we think that whether we should hold a stock for short term or we should just buy and leave them for a long term and they will definitely multiply. So let's just look at some data and understand this. So, first, before we get into short term, long term, let's look at the stock cycle which every stock goes through. So, every stock has around four stages. So, the first stage is the accumulation stage where both the sellers and buyers are equally active and the price movement is sideways. Then the buyers become more prominent and it leads to a rapid price increase. After that, again, there is a phase of stabilization, which is the stage 3, followed by a decline when the profits are booked and the sellers become more prominent. So, this keeps repeating indefinitely. It need not necessarily be that every next cycle will lead to a price higher than the previous cycle. It can also be lower. It may never go to the previous highs. We don't know that. But this cycle will always remain. So let's understand this with a few stocks. So let's look at Anand Rathi. Anand Rathi also saw this accumulation stage in say from December to November to Jan. Then it saw this rapid increase followed by long sideways movement, almost say from 11th March 2024 to December 2024, followed by a decline. The decline also that went till May 2025. So almost a year and a half of sideways movement followed by a decline, after which it again started to increase. So let's look at the data of Anand Rathi. So like I just mentioned that if one would have bought this stock on 20th Jan 2024, it would, the price would be 1425. If we would have sold it, say even by some method you would have able to identify the top and sold it on 2nd March 2024, the price was 2020. So the gain was 41%. I'll take you back over here. So from here, if we bought it at this breakout point and we sold it here, if somehow we were able to spot the top, then the gain was 41%. But after that, there were around 450 days of sideways movement plus decline, which led you to a gain of only 12% after this decline. So while you were holding it for so long, expecting it to multiply, the actually the return left was only 12% after a year and a half. Whereas if you would have sold it during this time, even before this, at say 20% gain, you would have had 20% in your pocket. Let's look at another example, Apar Industries. Again, if it was bought on 1st April 2024 and sold on 6th Jan 2024, again assuming that somehow we are able to spot the top, the gain would be a whopping 74%. Let's look at the graph. So this is Apar Industry. Again, this is the stage 1 where accumulation happened, followed by rapid price increase and then a decline. Here the decline went below even the buy point. If one would have bought over here at the breakout, this price has gone below that and then it starts rising again. So this rise is also much less than what we would have actually achieved if we would have sold it earlier. So nobody can possibly spot the top. I don't know over here whether it's going to continue going up or no. What I can do is I can set some rules for myself. So what does William O'Neill say? When should you actually sell? So William O'Neill says that hold stocks for up to 20 to 25% return. Cut your losses soon. We will talk about this in our future videos, that when should you book your losses. But he says that one should book your losses very soon, but the stocks which are giving profit, cut them at 20 to 25% return. So if we say are able to identify two stocks with 20% returns in a year, it will actually give a cumulative return, annual return of 44%. So just I'll read this out. For example, if stock A was held for 6 months and it gave us 20% return, the new value becomes 1.2 times the original value. Now, if this new value is invested into another stock B, which gives 20% return as well, then our return becomes 44% for the year. And if we keep holding the stock, we would have to sit through all those cycles of decline and accumulation, stage 3 and stage 4, which will keep happening repeatedly. So it is better that we get 2 to 3 stocks of 20% gain rather than wait for that large 100 to 100% return which may come on holding a stock for a very long time. The truth is that there are very few stocks which actually can give those kind of bumper returns. Most of the stocks go through massive declines as well, which we cannot predict. Even good stocks go through these stock cycles. So it's better to take those 20% returns of at least two stocks and get a good return of around 44%.